let's talk about a few individuals then and what we kind of took from those performances. You mentioned before Ian Calvin Ramsay. We'll start with him. Like I say, his first time he's played since 2022 for Liverpool. Yeah. He's had a few loans. He's had plenty of injuries. He's still a very young lad. 22 years old, so he's still very, very young. You know, he's for the amount of time he's been at the club. Really, he signed when he was a really young lad. I think maybe of all the team, he was maybe the biggest surprise in that he didn't look overawed. He looked quite cool, quite composed on the ball, without the ball. I thought he did himself of everybody of the lads. Just to flick a little reminder, probably the most of the 11. Would you agree? Yeah.
He looked like a guy who wanted to impress, but in like a mature way. He never looked like he was like overly trying to do. Like some people can try too hard when they're trying to impress. He looked quite cultured and quite calm.
Did the simple things well.
Yeah, he did really well. I'd say he's probably one of the best right-back performances we've had all season, to be honest with you. I think he looked really good. And the only negative from him for me is that I don't think he'll be I know he won't be anywhere near the squad on Saturday.
That's the next question really then, Lewis. I don't know how much you have to do in this type of game. Again, I remember Jurgen Klopp going to Exeter. I've heard this do. They were like that mad team that he picked, and like
Benteke as captain.
He's used the under-21s while he went on his holidays and stuff. Like these things have happened, and people have done okay and not really been given a chance. But given Jeremy Frimpong's injury, and we've all been a little bit concerned at centre back with the lack of options, and Gomez kind of can't play full back because he's kind of the sub centre back, and we've seen Szoboszlai go right back a little bit. We've seen Endo in the back. We've seen Gravenberch go back there. I do wonder if the manager has looked at Calvin Ramsay's thing on, maybe, because he spoke last year about James McConnell, for example, and how he was impressed with him. And he didn't play him too much, but he had him in and around it a little bit more. Calvin Ramsay, effectively, been playing under 21s this season after he had the loan last year that, again, didn't go amazingly well down over at Wigan. Is there any chance that maybe he's found, again, he's not going to start Conor Bradley's Liverpool's right back, but Calvin Ramsay potentially finds himself on a bench just as a viable option potentially, because he didn't do himself any harm really with that performance.
Yeah, no, he did wonderful, and he was a player who was signed. I think I might be remembering wrong, wasn't it? We sold Nico Williams, we signed Calvin Ramsay that same summer, so he was meant to be the backup to Trent. Hence why I thought he was great in an attacking sense yesterday. Some of his crosses were incredible, but. No, I'm in agreement. I think he'll find himself on the bench. I don't see him getting a lot of minutes, if any. And I hope that that's the case, because we've all sort of clicked. Szoboszlai at right back's not the solution. It worked for 2 games against Newcastle, Arsenal. Since then, it's been poor. So if Slot's finally given him an opportunity after 3 years, it's clear that he's looking at it and thinking, right, someone needs to fill that role. So if Ramsay stepped in, made that kind of performance, again, against a good Palace team, it's not like it was an average team. It was a really good Palace team flying high at the moment. So he's made a good account of himself. And if players are in that kind of form who are willing to run as much as he was and put in the effort, reward him with a spot on the bench.
I'm not sure he's been sent out not mainly because of his ability. I think it's maybe more down to he can't be trusted because of his fitness. He's a massive fitness.
Well, I was going to say, he's been a pro since 2020 when he broke into the Aberdeen setup there. He's only played 60 full games, 60 first team appearances across all his loans. So he had, and by the way, more than half of them came in last year at Aberdeen. Before
was he at Preston at one point?
So Liverpool signed him. He'd played 33 games for Aberdeen in the year, and then Liverpool signed him. Yep. He then went. He was at us and didn't do much. He got injured again, missed the season. He came on for a few minutes against Napoli. Started that game against Derby, and then got injured. So that was him done. He then went on loan to Preston, played 2 games injury. Bolton 4 games. Wigan last year 12. He's effectively played 60.
Getting better and better.
He's had 60 appearances really, and he's been a pro for, like I say, this is like his 7th year as a pro, albeit at a young age. And so he's still very, very raw. Like he was the forgotten man. I mean, I forgot. We didn't have a picture for him on our board. Like we just didn't have one for him. Like he was the forgotten man. I just wonder. You mentioned before, you just think that he's nothing he can do no matter what, but. I do wonder if Arne Slot saw that and maybe considered him as a viable option, because he did well against a very good Premier League team, up against some good attackers there, and he more than held his own.
Yeah, he looked good to us, but you have to look at it, did he do the things that Slot wanted? He'll have been given jobs by Slot to do. Did he do them things right last night? We don't know what's going on inside Slot's head, especially this season. But I don't think any issues over Ramsay has ever been his ability. It's always been his fitness. If he can stay fit, because he's a big lad as well, isn't he? I mean, I didn't realise how tall he was. He came on last night, like, Jesus Christ, he's big, isn't he? I thought he was like a quite short fella. I thought he was like Frimpong size, but I think he's done enough to at least be around the squads now. Like you said, he was the forgotten man. I don't think he's been on a coach for Liverpool coach for God knows how long. The fact that he got on the pitch yesterday was quite impressive. So I think he's done enough to now be considered for squads. I think I would have him on the bench against Villa.
He said after the game, Arne Slot, Lewis said, Calvin had a very, very decent performance, calm on the ball, he played with composure, a decent actually to good game for him. That's what Slot said. So Slot was he wasn't like overwhelming. He played, we listened to pick up 3-0 in a bit of a mad game, so he wasn't going to be exactly singing the praises. But it's with Frimpong injured, with Conor Bradley having up and downs, and he's again fitness has been an issue for Conor. He missed some pre-season. I go back without Leone. Gomez is your centre-back option, so you're probably not that keen to use him at full-back. Like, if Liverpool are, again, we don't know, Frimpong apparently is going to be out for a while. Like, that was a pretty significant hamstring injury. So the next 3 games, Conor Bradley will start them all. Can he finish them all? I don't know. After the break, we'll see where we're at with Frimpong. Conor will go on that international break and he'll play for Northern Ireland. Like, there's no rest for him. Liverpool has to be careful with Conor Bradley now because with this Frimpong issue. And like you mentioned before, with Szoboszlai and all these other stuff, and with Leone, there are factors at play here. Sometimes all of that just needs is an opportunity. Calvin Ramsay played yesterday, let's put it right, because Frimpong's injured, he needs to rest Bradley, and Leone's out. Like that's why Calvin Ramsay's found himself in the team. But it's this thing of, if you give someone an opportunity and they take it, are you happy to just bin them off again? We're probably going to find that out with Arne Slot with this guy now, aren't we?
I mean, we've seen it time and time again with Chiesa. So look, it would not surprise me if you just looked at him and went, yeah, no, not for me, that. But like you said, when you've got these chances, you have to seize them and you've got to take your opportunity. And at the moment, we're not in a position to be picky about who's occupying this squad. We haven't got the depth for it at the moment. Like I said, Frimpong's injured. Gomez, like, he's not going to be a preferred right back. You've got a midfielder at right back at points. So we can't be picky. And if he's putting in performances like that, I've got no issue with him being in and around the squad. It is purely the fitness reasons. And also, if Frimpong is going to be out for an extended period of time, because before you said that, my thought was, well, Salah's going to go to AFCON as well. The way Slot's doing it at the moment, Frimpong will probably play right wing at points. So you've only got one right back then. So it makes sense for him to be in and around the squad. So we need that depth, but going forward. Yeah,
hopefully, like I say, he had himself a good game, fair play to him. Like, he's done himself no harm there. I think young Calvin Ramsay, which is nice to see. That was a clip from the Final Word show. If you'd like to check out the full show, head on over to redmenplus.com.